Hi, we're here. I have no idea what that is. I'm clicking whispers, and that's what's coming out.
Well, geez Louise.
I think we're haunted.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Whispers on AM 1600 WKKX, the Valley's Watchdog. Lola's playing around. Todd's playing with us is what it is. It is 6:08 p.m. here in downtown Wheeling. I couldn't tell you the degrees. If you know the degrees, there we go.
You've got. I'm just telling you, it's off of Nick's jump drive.
I'm not even talking.
I know.
It's my fault.
Wait, there you go.
Hopefully I got a microphone.
No, I don't want you to have one this week. But anyway, you've got something. I don't know what it is. It says whispers, and I clicked it, and that was
What's playing now?
the real music.
That you clicked off my jump drive?
Yes.
Then it's not my fault.
It's both off your jump.
Oh.
That's it. Nick is a failure.
I usually am.
I just didn't want to get blamed for one more thing. That's all. I know how he is.
Have I ever blamed you for anything? Please don't answer that.
See? I know these things. You think I don't hear, but I know.
No, if I ever blamed you, I would post it on my website.
She knows
You
everything.
wouldn't.
Yes, I would. I'm the only one that has control.
He
So
won't
do I.
he won't even let me have passwords to the website.
So do I.
That's
See? I've got lots of control.
Yes, she does.
She turned his mic off. We're here on a new day, a new time, all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah.
She turned it off.
Give us a call, 304-214-1600
now.
if you're out of the area.
She turned my mic off.
Nick,
That's
shut
right,
up.
and I will keep doing it again if you keep interrupting him.
Do you all see what happens? We've got witnesses here.
Hey, Nick.
Hey,
you lost.
it's
Shut up.
Eric
You
and
lost.
Sammy. They're going to back me.
That's right.
So.
I'm sorry, Lola.
The only thing, Nick, that's going to save you right now is if you sing.
Lola,
Oh, yeah.
Lola.
Oh, you had to do that one, didn't you? I have killed people for less.
Really? Because we were both going to break into song like
He was going to introduce
Sammy,
you.
how
that
much do I hate that song?
She hates it. Sing it
No.
one more time. I'm going to have to show you. I'm saying
I love it when my boyfriends are here.
If you are out of the area, call us.
And save us.
1-866-514-1600. Today we were going to be 2 hours. We are only going to be one today. We have two Wheeling teams facing off
Yes.
tonight in hockey. What schools is it? Park and
Central.
Central are
They
heading
play
off.
each other and everything else, but not football.
Are you serious? That's just wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's the truth. Basketball, baseball, wrestling, hockey,
Track.
everything but football.
I demand football.
Everybody else does too, and for
So it
some
don't matter,
reason
right?
they won't do it. Should be the first game of the season.
Yeah, it would be fun. I don't watch.
Give us some catchy name.
Yep.
You could sell it.
First or the last.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Ooh, last would have playoff implications.
Yeah, that's why it'd be nice.
Yeah. They're not into sports.
Yeah.
as you can tell. As you
Jordan
can tell.
doesn't even know what football is, but you know.
It's soccer, right?
Yeah.
Isn't
Yes.
that how the
Look, Eric's
Europeans
running
say
out.
it?
On that remark, Eric is running out.
all right, track is fun though, Eric, right? Okay.
Oh,
All right, everybody. If you're not around here, you don't know that again, WKKX has lost a friend, a
colleague,
colleague, a pappy.
our pappy.
That was this weekend. Just was it 10 days after we lost Georgie?
Yeah,
Yeah, 9 or 10.
9 days, I think.
9 days.
Yeah.
So again, as we started off last week's show, we're gonna do it this week too. We're gonna have a moment of silence for Mr. Todd Jeffers. Keep his family, friends, and everything in your prayers. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Can I just say, I don't want to do this again next week. I do not want to do another moment of silence next week.
Believe
I
me.
am tired of it. It's irritating. I mean, because I just don't believe. You know, it's one of those. It's hard. I mean,
It's
it really
surreal.
is. It is.
It's surreal.
I would never have put money on that.
Yeah, it was like
Too much.
somebody called during the morning show Monday and said it was like getting knocked down. Then as soon as you start getting back up, you
That was my.
get kicked. Was that you,
That was
Sammy?
me.
That was you.
Yeah.
He remembered that. So.
I remember you, Sammy.
Oh, but it's the truth.
Booted in the
It's-
nads and getting up and booted again.
I wasn't gonna go. My grandma listens to this show, Sammy.
She'd agree
That's a
with
good
it.
version. That's a rated R version.
All right, everybody. We got the pen trip coming up here soon. If you have said you were coming and we got you a spot reserved, we need to get your money in as soon as possible.
You
so
coming
you
with
can
us, Sammy?
How much we need?
$45.
You coming?
Yeah, well,
All right.
Sammy's in. We're iffy right now on people who are paying because if you're not paying, we're going to open your spots back up to give to somebody else.
when are we going
so
down
that's
to
it. It's
When is
May 22nd. It's a Friday night.
I told John me and you'd be like Dom DeLuise in there.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Yeah.
What?
It's going to be. I have a plan, and while Lola's not listening, I'm gonna
She's
try to
always
scare
listening.
her. I'm gonna try to scare her while we're in the pen.
She's listening, Jordan.
No, she's not. She's on the
She
phone.
looked at you, Jordan.
I got some guys from the firehouse coming,
Really?
and we're gonna see what we can do to mess with Lola.
She's
Don't
gonna
mess with me. 'Cause
She's
I'm
gonna hurt every single one of your
I'm
firefighter
running
friends.
through one of them, probably.
Yeah.
All right, today our show is only gonna be until 7 o'clock, and it might be missing here. What's going on? She's not answering her phone. Lovely. Hey, if you got anybody got a little story they'd like to tell us, it'd be a great time to call in because we're patiently waiting for our guests to get on the phone. I just talked to her like an hour ago.
You know, when I called her, she said she loved me. So she's kind of like a grandma.
I've seen her on that Paranormal State.
You were saying that. Did you ever find the person?
Yeah. What's his name?
Chip Coffee.
Chip Coffee. Okay. You see, I don't get to watch that as much as the other ones.
I don't miss
Is it only on for 30 minutes?
Yeah, but they have a couple of them.
What, Paranormal State?
Yeah.
It's on a half hour.
Really? We good, Lo?
Yes, we are.
Yay.
I was getting nervous there, but yes, Lorraine is on.
All right, everybody. Here is the time we've all been waited for. We have Miss Lorraine Warren, who is one of the top demonologists in I want to say the U.S., but I want to say the world.
Just say the world then.
She's the world, and she's a big inspiration to Nick and I, being a Christian and getting into the realm of the paranormal. Miss Lorraine, are you with us?
I
There
certainly
we go.
am.
How you doing, ma'am?
Very well, thank you.
Now, you
Go ahead.
you have investigated some of the most amazing cases, known around here. Are you able to talk with us about some of them?
Yeah, which ones do you want me to talk about, dear?
Well, I want to start off with Amityville. Can we do that?
I thought you would want to start there.
I mean, that's like probably the most well-known, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Well, certainly the most publicized. I mean, there's a lot of cases that, could parallel it, but they're not as publicized as the Amityville case.
How did you get involved with the Amityville case?
We were contacted by Marvin Scott from Channel 5 News in New York, and he had said on the phone that that we were at a university in New Jersey where we were speaking, and that we were involved also at the same time that we were on campus with a haunting that had taken place there in one of the homes. And he said, I was very impressed with how you handled it. He said, we have a case that a family were all murdered in this home. And then a matter of a year later, a young family moved in and fled after 28 days and never returned to the house. And he said, our viewers would like to know what exactly was wrong with where the house was concerned. And so Ed and I had contacted part of our team and had gone down to do the Amityville investigation. We were really not aware of all that had really taken place in that house. For one thing, Ed and I were on our way to West Virginia, to the university in West Virginia. And when we got on campus, we were informed by the dean of students who came to our hotel room to tell us that we didn't have to lecture if we didn't want to, because Ed's mother had passed away.
Oh, wow.
And so that Ed's mother had actually passed away at the same time that Ronald DeFeo murdered every member of his family. And which was, I don't know what to say about it. It was bizarre.
Yeah. Now, what did you guys find with that? Do you think that there was some kind of connection between the DeFeos and can you just?
No, the DeFeos had nothing to do with the haunting. What had occurred? That the house, you could say that the house seemed to have a real order of disaster about it. But Ronald DeFeo, well, let me tell you how bizarre, then you can better understand.
Okay.
Ronald DeFeo murdered every member of his family in that house with a high-powered rifle. And the house had bedrooms on 2 floors. And this is the most bizarre part of the murders. I mean, the murders were hideous, absolutely hideous. But every member of the DeFeo family were on their stomachs. And no one was turned, And why didn't any of them wake up? Why didn't neighbors? Homes were very, very close together. Why didn't anybody awaken when a high-powered rifle was, he went from the 3rd floor to the 2nd floor. Nobody woke up. Nobody tried to stop him. Nobody had drugs in their system.
Wow.
So there's, it is such a truly bizarre situation, the whole case of this Amityville situation. What was there? What was in Amityville the first night Ed and I got home had followed us here to our home. Now, to backtrack, I'll explain it to you.
Okay.
We got a call from Marvin Scott. When we got the call from Marvin Scott, he had said how impressed he was with our doing an investigation in New Jersey, and he was there. And neither one of us remembered him being there, but he may not have been there as a newsman. He may have just been there. And but anyway, as a result of that, when that call came in that day here to our home, I had a funny feeling, a strange feeling, a threatening feeling. Now, by that point in time in our life, Ed and I had been involved for years in research. And why would this one case seem so different or so threatening?
Now, would you say it was more powerful of a threat than any other case you'd been on by then?
Well, it affected me that way. It affected me in that manner. So when it came in, I had gone out to get the mail before we left. And when I went, I remember taking one of my dogs with me. And I went over to my post office box and I picked up our mail. And in there was a manila envelope, and it was from a man by the name of Loftus in Long Island. I never met the man to this day, but he sent two things to us: a booklet and a second-class relic of Padre Pio.
Now, what does that mean, a second-class relic?
It's like part of his clothing. It wouldn't be anything actually from his body.
Okay.
And so it becomes a second-class relic. And that was in one of the envelopes from the post office box. And I took that with me to the Amityville home. Only Ed knew I had it. Nobody knew I had that. And that had to do with my faith and my husband. And so with that, I got dressed. Ed had contacted, the people that were going to be going in with us. And there was a parapsychologist from Eastern Connecticut State University and his wife, and Mary Pascarella, who had a very large paranormal society and building in New Haven. And she also went with us. There were quite a few people who went with us in that house that very first day. Now, when I walked in, Ed addressed Dr. Alex Tanis, and he also addressed the president of the American Society for Psychic Research, who were there doing out-of-the-body experiences. Why? I do not know. I do not know. I couldn't think of a worse house to be conducting something of that nature. Dr. Tanis was highly psychic and had been working with the American Society for Psychic Research for years. He was coming down the stairs and said, "Hi, Ed. How are you?" Ed said back to him, "What did you find here?" He said, "I came across the worst, how did he put it? The worst level of evil I have ever experienced," is what he said to Ed. Mm. With that, I started to walk around while Ed was talking to Dr. Tanis, and I'm trying. It's awful. I can't remember the president of the American Society for Psychic Research. I can't remember his name right.
We can call him Phil.
Well, I can't remember his name right at this given time. Anyway, I walked around, and I remember what a horrible, sad, depressing feeling. I mean, you're looking at a home that somebody just walked out of with their children and their pet dog. I mean, there were dishes still in the sink.
Yeah, they didn't take anything at all with them, did they?
They didn't take a thing but their children and their dog and the clothes on their back. That's all they took out of that house.
What exactly did they say happened? What was their,
Oh, the things that happened were, they're so bizarre that it's unbelievable. I'm telling you what happened to us.
Oh, sure. Sorry.
Anyway, as a result of this, before we entered the house, Ed picked up a key, and Ed and I met George Lutz at a pizza parlor. That is as close as he would come to the house. He wouldn't come any closer to the house. And Kathy did not come at all. So Ed said, Mr. Les, tell me, what is it that happened in that house that you had to flee it? You know. Ed said, no, sir, I don't know. He says, you know. And he kept repeating that. He just kept repeating that, what he was saying. You know. Like every case was, the same pattern.
Yeah.
And he couldn't talk about it. And so we found out later that from Father Pecoraro, Father told us that he told him never to talk about it because it gave it recognition and it could be right there again, which is very true. And so anyway, when I walked in one of the rooms of the house on the first floor, I could see bodies. I could see them all covered up with white sheets. And I imagine I was looking at the bodies of the DeFeo family. It was probably where the bodies were kept before they were taken to the morgue. And it was horrible for me. And I took that relic in my hand without anybody knowing what I was doing and asked Padre Pio for protection. Photographs were taken of me in that house, and it shows Padre Pio looking directly at me in that house. Now that photograph, Ed used it in Akron, Ohio, at university, and he got bad press and said it said that he showed a picture of a man that looked like a priest. Ed said, I'm going to take that out of our presentation, and until we can document that, we can't use it. And I felt bad. I felt really bad about that. And so I prayed to Padre Pio. I said, if that is really you in that photograph, I need to know more about you. I need to prove and document that that is really you looking at me or protecting me or helping me, however I said it to him. And with this, we left Akron and we were on a cross-country tour, a university tour. I'm still doing my university touring. And but my son-in-law is working with us. We're working together.
Yeah.
And so we were out now on the West Coast, and we were going to be lecturing in La Jolla. And we arrived on the West Coast on a Saturday, but weren't lecturing until Sunday night. So we were staying with these friends in Beverly Hills. And they got together, a group of friends, and they had like a little get-together for us. And that night, Ed and a couple of the men wanted to take Ed to some location to show him something, and in the morning, for Sunday morning. And this man, who was affiliated with ABC television there in the Los Angeles area, had asked me if I wanted to go to Mass with him on Sunday morning. And I said to Ed, about this man asking me. He said, go ahead, hon, because I'm not going to be going to Mass until 11 o'clock. So we were walking out of church. We went to the Church of the Good Shepherd in Beverly Hills. We're walking out. Remember, I do not know this man.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything about Amityville. He doesn't know anything about Padre Pio. Doesn't know anything about any of that. And he says to me, "Did you know Padre Pio?" And I thought, how bizarre. Why would you, to myself, I thought, why would you ask me that? And I said, I knew of him, sir. And I said, why did you ask? He said, because there was a priest at a Cilician school for boys that's down the highway, not far from where you are going to be lecturing this evening, your husband said, in La Jolla. So I said, it's a priest who served with Padre Pio, did you say? He said, yes. And so I got back to the house, and Ed had come back already, and I told Ed. And so I said, do you think that's the answer to my praying to him and asking him to help? So anyway, I called that school and spoke with that priest. Father Negre was his name, Father Ralph Negre. And I spoke with him. And in speaking to him, I did not say anything about a photograph. I asked if he could see us, that we both had great faith in Padre Pio, and we would love to meet him. And so he said he had time for us that afternoon. And so we went, and we went in to talk to him. He spoke broken English. And we went in to talk with him. And he told us about serving with Padre Pio. And Ed said, I would love to show you something. Can I show you something, Father? And he went out to the car to get this slide. When he got the slide, he put it in the projector and put it on to the wall, projected it onto the wall, the white wall. And the priest knelt and said, Padre Pio. I said, Father, why would he appear to me? His answer to me was, you must have asked him. And I had asked him to be there with me.
That's crazy.
Beautiful, isn't it?
And you got it backed up by somebody who knows him, which is, bizarre, because, that never happens when you get a picture of somebody. You always wonder, I wonder if that's really a person or if I'm matrixing in any way. And then to actually have it backed up that
was the priest who helped us to document that photograph.
That's crazy. Now, you said that the demon had followed you home?
Yes, it did.
Now, how did that happen?
All right. When we got home in the middle of the night, Ed went down to his office. Ed's office is on an altogether different level of our house than the bedroom. And two of our dogs came into the bedroom. I said to Ed, I'm going to get in bed while you're going down there. And I'm going to read that booklet on Padre Pio. That's what I said to him. And he took the things downstairs with him. So I got in bed, and I knew something wasn't right, but I didn't know what was wrong. I couldn't quite figure out what was wrong. I looked at the two dogs, and they were like statues. They were not moving. They were not moving at all. The dogs were just looked like two statues. One of them was partly under the dust ruffle of the bed, and the other was over by the boudoir chair. And then all of a sudden, I heard this noise, a real strange noise. The only thing I could compare it with is like sheet metal or something shaking violently. There's nothing like that in the house. And then there was a swirling of energy, and it was so overpowering. I couldn't move my arm. I couldn't move my hand. The only thing I could move was my eyes. And there's a button that's next to our bed. That's a security button within our home. And I couldn't even touch that to let Ed know something was very wrong. Something was terribly wrong. And then with that, it came up the stairway from the lowest level of the house. It came up the stairway from that room that is a conference room, and my office is right off that. And then there's a long passageway where Ed had gone to go out to his study and his office.
Mm-hmm.
And so it came from that level, and that is the darkest area of the house, and the area of the house where the energy, I guess, could build up. It came up the stairs into the dining area, into the living room, and then up onto the level with the bedrooms. And when it got to the doorway, it was hideous. It was massive black form, massive, took the whole doorway.
Really?
Yes, in my mind, I'm saying, in the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to leave and go back to where you came from. All of a sudden, my hand is released. When I said that, I made the sign of the cross, and it was like, I just never know how to quite explain it. Like, it like the energy just wound up tight and went flying out, and I believe that it went right up the chimney of the house. Now, it isn't minutes, it's seconds. Ed came in the bedroom. He didn't come through that passageway. He did not come that way. That is where I think that thing came from, because that's where the vibrations could build up. And what he came out the back door of his study, up the steps, onto our deck, came in and laid on top of the covers next to me and put his hand on my hand. He said, "Hon, you have no idea what just happened to me."
He said this?
Ed, my husband.
Yeah.
Now, he was in a different part of the house, in other words.
Altogether different part of the house.
Exactly. Okay.
The
I see.
extreme, to an extreme away from me.
Now, do you think this is the same demon, or
Yes, it was.
Are demons able? I guess they would have to be able to manifest themselves in multiple places at once, or?
Yes.
Okay. I've never been too familiar with that. I mean, can you give us some information, I guess, on, what exactly? I mean, is there any smell when a demon's there, or the physical?
I hope you never experienced
I hope
that.
not either.
Me too.
I hope you never, ever. I mean, Ed and I, remember, have worked in the area of paranormalology and demonology for many, 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 many years. We have worked with Buddhist monks in the mountains of Japan. We have worked in Australia. We have worked in Canada, throughout the United States, and we have also had 27 years that we were traveling to the United Kingdom, where we were very, very involved. In fact, the last time we were there in in the UK, we became affiliated with the University of Edinburgh, which has received the greatest grant ever given for the study of this work. And but then Ed collapsed soon after that, and we were never able to. I haven't been back. I haven't been back since I've lost Ed to the UK. I have continued my work, and our work, and carrying on his legacy has been extremely, extremely important to me.
I understand you're on Paranormal State a lot.
Yes. Yes.
Can you tell us something, about that that organization?
Why did you choose to actually be a part with them?
That's a very good question. Out of almost 40 years of research, of 40 years of university work, there's far more than 40 years of research. Out of 40 years of university work, we had never allowed ourselves to be actually affiliated with any particular university. We taught at Southern Connecticut, but never affiliated, to that extent with any group. And I was very, very impressed. Very impressed with Ryan. And he asked, this was soon after Ed's passing, and he put together a presentation. Every university that Ed and I were affiliated with did great honors to my husband. I don't want to get into that because it's very emotional for me.
That's okay.
I understand.
And so I was very impressed what he put together, because I didn't know he was doing that. And as a result of that, he asked Tony and I about actually going in on a case. Tony wasn't able to do this one particular case, and I didn't know. I had to have a clearer picture of what they wanted me to do. So when I got to this home where they were investigating, and I was picked up at the railroad station and taken there, and I knew I was going to be there for a few days, I said, I would love to work with you, but there's only one thing that we have to get clear, and I don't know how you feel about it. And so I said, what we have to do in each and every case is bring closure. Ryan said, that's easy. I said, no, it isn't, Ryan. It's the hardest part of the work, is bringing closure.
Now, can you explain that for those out there listening that don't understand what closure is?
Closure is having church-affiliated people, priests, ministers, rabbis, whatever, to come in and bring closure to the case. It isn't easy. People are moving further and further away from organized religions today.
Yeah, definitely.
We go into homes and ask, what are you religious? What are your religious denomination? So sometimes they'll say Christian. You see 3 or 4 children. Are they baptized? No. And now, that's when you run into big problems, very big problems you run into. And people just, I don't know what's become of people. Is it television? What is it? Is it greed? Is it people that are...
Bad parenting is what's been going on. But go.
It is bad parenting. Anyway, that is the only way I have worked with State College. And I'm very, very fond of Ryan. I think Ryan's doing a phenomenal job. And working with him and his team, I enjoy it very much.
Yeah, that's
Lorraine, do you if say you walk into a home and they tell you that they really don't have any religious affiliation, is that a signal then that you won't take the case?
It's not that I wouldn't take the case, especially if I see young family. And I talk to them. I have, in certain cases, asked clergy if they would come in and try to help the family. I asked them what sound is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, were they brought up as children in the Protestant faith, in the Catholic faith? You know,
Yeah.
are they Muslim? What faith were you? I mean, at one point. Well, many of them will say that they actually fell away from, because there's changes in the church. It's always something that they have an excuse for.
Now, if you have somebody who is, like, because I heard you say Muslim, if somebody who's not even a Christian faith at all, you know, would you still be able to help them? Would you work with their clergy and whatever religion?
I work with any clergy. I work with Buddhist monks in the mountains of Japan with my husband.
Yeah, okay.
And how beautiful. Every religion that teaches love of God and love of your fellow man is based on a true religion there.
Okay, Lorraine, I've got another question. This comes from a caller. She wanted to know, with this evil energy or force that was in your home, was it an evil energy or was it a real demon? And what is the difference between...
Well, it manifested, yes. So it was very real. It manifested. It manifested in that form.
Okay.
In which form?
In that form that I told you, that dark form.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that dark form that was in the doorway. So it did manifest. It wasn't just feelings. No, it was not just feelings.
Okay.
So it's pretty much as any evil entity, would you call that a demon?
Yes, you could
Okay.
call it a demon.
Sure. And I think that's kind of what she was...
Yeah,
get
she
at.
just wanted to
Okay.
know if there was a difference between, say, kind of evil is not quite the word that I'm looking
Negative.
for, but yeah, a negative energy
Negative,
and
no, it
a
wasn't
real
negative energy.
demon, you
No,
know.
it was the personification of evil.
Okay. I think that's
a good one.
Yeah.
Now, there's a movie coming out, The Haunting in Connecticut.
Yes, it's loosely based, very loosely based, in fact, on the case in Southington, Connecticut, where that funeral home was concerned. That you're not going to really see the true case at all.
It won't be much. It won't be much of the true case at all.
No, it's very loosely based.
I know we were watching before we came over.
It was on A Haunting.
Yeah, A Haunting, Discovery Channel, I think.
Oh yeah, that's real.
Okay, that's real, because I saw you on there.
Yeah, that's real.
Yes. And when I was looking up the movie, I looked to see if they had, you know, someone playing you or Ed, and I didn't find anything like that. And they've got people in 1920s having seances.
What?
According to the movie
Trailer.
Like the cast, they have a seance, people that are representing a seance in the 1920s. So I have no idea. That wasn't part of the Discovery Channel thing. So it must be extremely, very loosely based.
Well, it's Lionsgate, a film.
Uh-huh.
Lionsgate.
It's a Lionsgate film there. So, 1927. I mean, for one thing, it was a former funeral home.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, what's the 1927 seances?
I think they were saying that seances were held in the funeral home along with.
And that's what I guess opened it up. I like I said, I haven't. Of course, the movie's not out
that's
yet.
Way off.
Yeah, I don't think it comes out until the 27th.
No, it doesn't, there.
Yeah, so
Hollywood strikes again and messes up another movie.
Yes, they do, dear.
Now, would you say that the original the case itself would have been a good movie without being spruced up.
Phenomenal. Because the Roman Catholic Church was involved. The bishop was so open with us about helping us to get the proper clergy in there, because the parish priest actually was frightened, although he came in and blessed the house. And then what happened was the bishop's secretary and another Catholic priest who was an exorcist had gone into the home with us to say mass in the house.
Oh, wow.
They then wrote, both priests wrote letters. Both priests wrote letters to the bishop that it required an exorcism, but they didn't want to be the ones picked.
They were afraid to do it.
Because it followed them back to their room.
Jeez.
Hey, we got another question.
Yes, Lorraine. Another caller wanted to know if you know Bob Larson. I guess he's.
I know who he is, sir.
Oh, okay.
I know who he is.
Well, he just wondered if you had ever, collaborated with him on anything, or
Do I have to answer that?
No,
not if you don't
I'll
want to.
answer it off the air to you people.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
If that's all right.
Yeah,
okay.
that's fine.
There we
That's
go.
fine.
All right.
Yeah, I'll answer that off the air.
Okay. Lorraine, that is actually all the time we do have for this week.
Okay.
We're getting cut short because of a hockey game.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know. We catch the back burner on a lot of stuff.
Well,
but
it's
it's
high
all fun.
school sports, and that's our station is
Very supportive.
local everything. We're local
that's
talk from 6 in the morning until 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock
Oh,
at night.
that's good
So,
there.
yep.
Now, are we still on the air?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we're
are.
still on the
Well,
air.
as soon as we go off the air, I will tell you about this minister.
Okay. Well, we'll keep you on hold, and we'll talk to you about that then. It's been great having you on. We'd love to have you back.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'll be
I'd
happy.
like to really get into detail about some of the exorcisms that you guys have helped
I
perform.
want to ask her about the piano.
Okay, go ahead. You want to ask her real
just
quick?
real quick. Have you ever had many cases like that where I've seen you was on a show on the Paranormal State where that family had trouble with the piano that they put out on the porch?
Yes, my son-in-law and I were both involved in that
Right.
case.
I've never seen anything like that before. Where
Yes, that's where. A haunted item.
yeah.
Oh God, yes,
Now you have a museum too, right?
yes. And a lot of haunted items there.
That piano was scary.
All right, Miss Lorraine, we're gonna jump off here with you.
Yeah, I'll put
And,
you on hold, so just hold on.
So
Okay.
thank you very much for joining us today, Lorraine.
You're welcome, dear.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
She's a pleasure. I like her.
Yeah, she's great.
I love that, and just bringing the reality of the Amityville, because that's such a controversial case. You get like the Lutzes have been proved to be a hoax. There's books about it now.
But now he went to his grave claiming that it was sensationalized, but there was he believed what happened there, and I listening to him because he was on Coast to Coast right before he died, and he was still said that it
Are you
did
sure he's
happen.
dead?
Yes.
Okay. Because
Why are you looking at me like that?
We'll get a phone call here soon. Yeah.
I would put money on. I do know.
But
he
I mean,
passed away.
there was a couple messages we had in the chat room. It's like, well, Amityville wasn't that faked.
Yeah.
All right, Nikki, who we got next week?
We have Barry Fitzgerald from Ghost Hunters International.
He was actually the. If you watch Ghost Hunters when they were in Ireland, he was the guy that was taking them through Ireland, taking them to all the castles and all that.
Well, you're going to
cool.
enjoy this one.
Yeah.
He's actually it's going to be our
St. Patrick's
Day episode. He told us that no man in Ireland is going to be sober enough at that time of the evening
He's
to
right.
do the show, so that
So
he
we
was
have
going
to
to
do
do it a week early.
All right.
So catch us next week, everybody.
like
We're going to
him.
jump
Fairies,
off here.
leprechauns. We're going to be talking about every bit of it.
Wheeling Central, Wheeling Park, facing off hockey very soon. Make sure you catch it. Until next week, everybody, don't be afraid, only believe.
I demand football.